and welcome to Ascension Podcast. This is Ascension Live show, and I am your host, Selina. On today's show, I will be talking all about the energies on Earth and how we can raise our energy frequency and what's going on the Earth at the moment with the energies. I'm going to be doing a live Q&A, intuitive Q&A, but to ask a question on my Q&A, you need to be 18 years and over, and any advice I give on any of my podcasts is not to replace professional medical advice. And obviously, if you have any mental health problems, please see your GP or qualified medical practitioner. So let's just start talking about the energies on Earth at the moment. So we've had two main transits or astrological events that have happened in August, and they've really affected the energies on Earth and what's going on in our lives as a whole world, and publicly as a whole world, and also individually in our private lives. The first main astrological event that has happened, and this was in July, August, this happened this year, 2022, was the Uranus-Mars North Node conjunction. This is once in a lifetime. It has never happened in our lifetimes before and will never happen again in our lifetimes, in this lifetime. And it brought about a massive conclusion, like a big ending, an actual conclusion to a whole cycle of events in our lives. This could be in different areas. It could be in your love life, in your career, your life path, your overall life path, and also on Earth. There was a lot of conclusions, also a lot of revelations, a lot of things being revealed, and things coming to a conclusion naturally with this big transit. So it could be that you had a big end of a relationship, an end of a very long career, you moved country, you moved house, it could have been something personal for you, whatever it was, but it was quite massive, because the North Node is all about our life path and destiny. And there was some sort of, with Uranus, the Uranus energies are all about things that are unexpected, a little bit eccentric, quite unique, quite unusual. Mars energy has fire, passion. It can have anger as well, or it can have a sense of wanting to battle. So all these energies in a conjunction, which means they're all aligned close to each other, in alignment close to each other, has meant that there was the energies on Earth and the energies in the universe it's almost like a doorway. A doorway's kind of, one doorway's closed, one doorway's open, but it's been a big doorway. It's not just, oh, I've got a little job here, or somebody I was dating, it ended. It's like a massive conclusion to a whole life cycle, a whole cycle of life events. It concludes, I always say it's for the better. It's a natural conclusion. It's concluded for the better, and it's all about new beginnings now. The other thing that had happened with a lot of people, a lot of clients I've read for, and a lot of people I know, with this Uranus North Node Mars conjunction, was they were actually starting new projects. This could be a new business project, a house move, like a massive, but it's a massive project. It's not just a little thing. It's something you've been wanting to do for many months, many years, and it's actually a time of catapulting you forward from a long period of procrastination. So you may have had a very long period. It could even be up to 5-10 years, but I'd say the last 5 years, 5-6 years of procrastination, of wanting to do something, and this has catapulted you into the path that you should be on for highest and best. This catapult, this change could have been quite radical for you. It could have been harsh. It could have been that you were forced to leave a job, or you were forced to leave a relationship, or you were forced to leave a country. It was like you were pushed into this life path, this new path. But then good is coming out of it, because it's opening a new door to your destiny with the North Node. It's a new alignment, of your destinies. This is a very natural transition. It's a very natural conclusion to events in your life. So this was a very powerful astrological event that affected many people, but I feel the overall outcome of it was a nice conclusion of old patterns, old cycles, and the start and initiation of a new life cycle, a new series of events. And this is on Earth as well. So this could be with different world events that are going on. This could be with the environment. This could be with politics, with the governments, world leaders, all different aspects of life on Earth. This is all about a new beginning now, a new way of life, a new way of thinking. So that's very important. The second big astrological event was the Lionsgate portal, which was on the 8th of August. And the Lionsgate portal it can affect the energies on Earth. It can affect the vibrations on Earth and the tilt of the Earth as well, in conjunction, in alignment with other planets and other magnetic fields. So the Lionsgate portal, it starts on the 8th of August. I think it lasts a few days. It's not more than a week. You've got, again, a lot of new beginnings, but a lot of endings, a lot of closures, revelations, and so endings and new beginnings. And this is very much with business, work, career, especially. Could be a bit love life with some revelations and closures, but with the new beginnings, it's not so much love life, it's more business, career, work, projects. So starting a new business, again, coming out of a very long period of procrastination, you're feeling more energized to start a new business. You may have even felt the shift on the 8th of August. There was an energy shift. You may have felt it. You may have felt a very high energy in your body, a bit manic, a bit excited, or a bit jumpy, not able to sleep, lots of creativity, lots of creative ideas, or you may have had been very, very busy at work, but it's in a good way. So very productive time, the 8th of August, but some natural endings and conclusions as well. So that was the energies on Earth. Talking about dimensions and frequencies, there are several dimensions. I'm going to read an article out in a minute to you and discuss it, but there are several dimensions. Some say they are more than 12, but the main number is 12. The first dimension being very low vibration frequency, so things like music and arts, creativity doesn't exist on the first dimension. Emotions such as anger, fear, anxiety, depression, worry, misery, melancholy, sadness, that's all first dimension, very low vibrational, heavy frequencies. So if you ever feel those emotions, that keeps you in the first dimension, and then that has an impact on your whole life. It has an impact on your relationships, the sort of career path you're going to have. It affects your entire alignment. So you don't want to be on the first dimension. You don't want to be feeling those feelings. Even going into the second dimension, you can still have a bit of those feelings, but the second dimension is slightly different. It's more about the ego. The second and third can be very much about the human ego. So not so much really dark and heavy and low, but more of like the human ego and all about me and I want. I want this, I want that, and not really being humanitarian and compassionate to everyone else, or to the planet, or to the environment. So that's the second and third dimension. You'll find in those two dimensions, in relationships and career, that people that are on those dimensions tend to be ego-based. They also tend to be, for example, in love relationships, they tend to be very self-focused people, second and third dimension, self-focused, me, and it tends, the second dimensional relationships, second and third dimensional relationships, friendships, relationships, or career partnerships, whatever the connection is, romantic or platonic, the overall theme, the overall undertone of it is the ego, and it's all about I want to take, but I don't want to give. What can I get for free? Takers. It's all about it's like a lower vibrational existence. The lessons are very low vibration, so it's all about lesson learning and learning about how to manage your anger, so that anger can be quite second dimension, third dimension, you know, all these arguments, things like that. So that is low. It's not as low as the first dimension, but it's still low, second and third. So you don't want to be on those dimensions. You want to really raise your vibration into the fourth. Now the fourth's interesting, because I like to call it the bridge. It's like a bridge between the lower three, first, second, and third, going into the higher ones, 5 onwards, 5 to 7. So the fourth dimension is the bridge. It's like, so it's you're kind of, it's you're safe, you're okay, you're doing well in life. It's like you're the humanitarians, I call them humanitarians. So I used to be a teacher, so in the teaching industry, a lot of the people I met are very nice people. They're not egos, they're the humanitarians, so they're the carers. They want to help people, they want to teach, impart knowledge. So this is the humanitarians. They're good people, you know, the fourth dimensional people, they're good people, but they're still not, you might still not be fully awakened into really knowing what's going on, or being really intuitive about situations, people, things. It's kind of like the bridge. It's the world that's in between the lower dimensions and then the higher ones. The fourth one is very interesting. If you're on the fourth dimension, that's very good, because it means you can cross that bridge and then explore the higher dimensions. This is what I'm going to get onto now before I read the article. If you're on the fourth dimension, you can still stay on it, but you can kind of go up and visit the 5th and 6th and 7th. Okay, maybe the 5th and 6th, 7th we'll talk about in a minute. But it's a nice place to be. It's not fully awakened, but it's a nice place to be, because you can then have access to the higher dimensions, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Now, it doesn't matter kind of what dimension you're on. We can all drop down back to the first. We can also, as the saying says, we can all dip back into the first dimension with depression, anxiety, fear, anger. And this is what you don't want to do, because then it can actually, over time, many months, drop you back down. And so it's very easy to go back down, because you can actually live on 2 different dimensions at the same time. You can have your base level and then your slightly higher level that you can visit. And I'm going to read it in the article in a minute. So you don't want to be dropping your vibration down, and you can stay on a higher vibration in general by, of course, surrounding yourself with higher vibrational people. And that's where the gifts and the art of intuition and knowing who's good for you and who isn't. Yeah, that's where the lesson learning comes in. I just quickly tell you about the fifth dimension. So the 5th dimension is really, really interesting. It's probably the most unusual dimension. It is when you go into the 5th dimension, you could go up to the 12th. I'm not joking. You really, it is your stepping stone. The 4th is sort of still not quite awakened, but the fifth is quite awakened. Now, on the fifth dimension, to get into the fifth dimension, it's usually you would go through not necessarily a near-death experience, but it could be a near-death experience or a very, very bad experience in your life. This could be spiritually, could be a psychic attack, it could be emotionally through bullying or emotional abuse, it could be a physical attack you've had, it could be a health scare or near-death experience. But these are the things that after that, your soul actually goes on to a much higher dimension, and people start seeing things. They start seeing angels, they could see demons, they could see ascended masters, light beings. You might start becoming very psychic naturally or intuitive. You might start getting more dreams. You're going to oh, hi Maria. Hi Maria, I'm just saying hi on the Facebook Live. So this is all about, now Maria Rose has written a book on the fifth dimension, how to ascend to the fifth dimension. You can buy her book. You can just look on my YouTube channel. All the information is under this video, and you can buy her book. I'm reading it at the moment and it's very interesting. So saying about the fifth dimension, you will start seeing light beings, angelic beings, ascended masters. Some people say they see Jesus, or they see saints. You're going to start opening up, really opening up, which through the media and school and our life on earth, we have not been taught to see that. Yeah, no one tells you to see. Nobody talks about it. So this is only through a near-death experience. I've personally had several near-death experiences over the years, one major, very big one, and that is how I personally have evolved. So the fifth dimension is accessing the ascended masters, basically. You can still be psychic and be on a lower dimension. There are many psychics that are on a lower dimension. Some of them are on the first. I mean, this is irrelevant whether they're psychic or not. It's for the qualities of the character you're looking for. So you don't want anybody ego-based around you. You want people that are compassionate and supportive. And this comes on to the two astrological transits we've just had. A lot, especially going into September, actually, there's going to be a lot of revelations in friendships, relationships, and you're going to start seeing people's true colors. And there's going to be, it may have already started happening for you, like a natural shift where you deviate from their path, like a diversion, where you were here with someone and you're sort of here, and then naturally by the universal laws, you're just naturally going to get away from them. Something will happen to take you away from the negative people. And that's if you're doing the right work on yourself and you're raising your vibration. So the fifth dimension is very interesting. Going into the higher realms, I'm not going to go into each one individually, but anything 6 and above, 6, 7, very high dimension. That's usually about knowledge, in sort of enlightenment, knowledge, imparting knowledge to others, teaching, helping others, healing. So that's 6, 7, 8. And then you've got the much higher dimensions. They say 12th dimension being God, or the universal source energy. I'm now going to, oh, hello, Asif. Thank you for joining me on Facebook. Before I do my live Q&A, I've got a lot of questions viewers have asked me, and I can only answer 2 per show. But before I do that, I'm going to read out a very interesting article. It's just a short section of it about frequency. So this is from Root to Crown Community. And this is called Raise Your Frequency. And it says, you may be asking yourself at this point, what are the dimensions and what exactly is frequency? It is important to know in physical terms, humans and their tangible bodies live within the third dimension. In our matrix, there are 10 dimensions that a person can move into and out of at will. Simply enough, by raising your vibrational frequency. There is an 11th dimension, which is a gateway between the matrices, and the 12th, which is God. There are times in your life when your frequency will be raised so that you may access one of the higher dimensions, either for a greater perspective on a situation or to help you remember a part of your spirituality, or simply to allow you a glimpse of your unique gifts and talents. When discussing a person's frequency, it is important to know both of the levels in which you hold. First, there is the level of frequency that you have reached at any given point in time. And second is the average level in which you constantly hold. So as you remember, I said there's two levels, the one your baseline and the one that you can access. And you always want to be 4 and above is the key, really. These will be 2 different numbers, one for your average frequency and one for your highest level you have experienced. These numbers will be constantly evolving as your practice and work progress. You can always get higher in your dimensions. Remember, the higher we go in our frequency, the better connections we make, the better people we meet. It's the better life path we'll have. There may still be challenges, but you're not going to get those heavier low challenges that you had on the lower vibrations. Some people can be on a very low vibration as like a baseline, but they can dip into the higher dimensions, and that's all about, it doesn't mean you're a bad person, it means you're having some sort of karmic lesson that you're going through, some sort of karmic test that you needed to get out of in this life, because maybe in the past life, if you believe in reincarnation, if you don't, that's fine, but maybe in the past life you didn't quite get out of it, or in yourself, your soul needs to evolve so you can get out of that lower vibration. So being on a low dimension may mean that you're a good person, but it may mean that you struggle with lower vibrational feelings like depression, anxiety, anger, fear, and that's all about you healing that on your healing journey and then moving fully into a higher vibration. So this is all about lesson learning, really, this frequency evolvement. I'm just going to read you this out before I do my questions. Gosh, been talking a long time. Time flies. Okay. You may be asking yourself at this point, what are the dimensions and what exactly is frequency? It is important to know in physical terms, humans and their tangible bodies live within the third dimension. In our matrix, there are 10 dimensions that a person can move into and out of at will, simply enough by raising your vibrational frequency. So the 11th is the gateway and the 12th is God. There are times in your life when your frequency will be raised so that you may access one of the higher dimensions, either for a greater perspective on a situation or to help you remember part of your spirituality, or simply to allow a glimpse of your unique gifts and talents. So, for example, Joe has an average vibrational level of 3.3. Joe may have been involved in a near-death experience, which means he has achieved a level of 6.4, reaching into the 6th dimension. When a person goes through a near-death experience, their frequency gets elevated when they move through the 4th dimensional portal of time-space, that's the bridge, and move into the higher dimensional realms. It would indicate that Joe normally holds a 3.3 frequency and has reached 6.4. With a consistent practice, Joe will begin to elevate his average frequency even higher. And you can do this, it says, you know, meditation, etc. And again, keeping good company around you, because you don't want your vibrations to drop. So that was very interesting. I'm now going to get on to the quick messages. I can only do 2. And I've got 2 questions, got a whole list of questions, but I've got 2 that I'm going to answer for you, and I'm going to do them with my intuition. My intuition and the help of my cards as well, and a ribbon, a coloured ribbon. So we have, let's see, Zolia is here. Thank you, Zolia. Hi. Okay, we have a question from Marie Rose now, and she's from Glastonbury. She's asking, will I meet my partner soulmate soon? Okay, let's see. So this is your mini spiritual reading. Will she meet her partner soulmate soon? Oh, yes, look at that. I'm going to do you a nice ribbon as well. Oh. I'm going to see what, because the ribbons correspond with the chakras. Okay, I've got a yellow one for you. Okay. 10 of Cups. My gosh, this is all about a new romance, a new emotional love romance coming in. I can see him coming in on the horizon. Now, he may already have kids, grown-up kids, and possibly be divorced or separated for quite a few years. He may have an interest in horses or the outdoors in general, somebody that's very at one with nature, because I get the man on the horse card from my LeNormand deck. I'm sensing you'll meet him in I get a hotel setting. So it could be you're on a trip. You're either on a holiday, a trip, or you've gone away somewhere to do a special event or a course or something. And there's a hotel, and he's might not be directly linked to why you're going to the hotel, but he might be a guest there or around, you know, visiting that area. And he's there, I can see him sitting there, and he gets talking to you. Then he's giving you his business card. Now, I sense he's some sort of businessman, smartly dressed, maybe owns his own business, similar age to you, give or take a few years, completely single, available, and offering you a relationship. So look out for him. I feel he's Caucasian looking, slimish build, could have an Irish connection. I wouldn't say 6 foot, maybe smaller than 6 foot, between maybe 5'7" and 5'9". Slimish build, Caucasian looking, short hair, maybe could be grayish, brownish, but short hair. Quite an intelligent man, very open spiritually. Like, he's not necessarily a spiritual man, but he's very open to different ideas, and you'll get on really well with him when you meet him, and all you need to do is open that door to him. He's going to give you his card or his contact details or some sort of business. It might be linked to his work, or, you know, something, a contact detail, and you're going to talk, and, you know, take it from there. And I feel that this has a long-term feel to it. Timing for this could be within, I would say, within the next 12 months that you're going to meet him. Again, the energies on Earth are shifting, so a lot of people are going to be meeting their soulmates very soon on Earth. So that's lovely. The colour ribbon I've got for you is yellow, and I have 7 ribbons, colours of the rainbow. And yellow is all about it's prosperity, but it is prosperity, abundance, but it's also about your solar plexus. Your solar plexus chakra is where your diaphragm is, and this is all about that you need to keep healing that, and don't be fearful in going into the relationship. There might be a little bit of a hesitation, a bit of fears there. Maybe you're scared that you will repeat old patterns, or it will be like somebody similar from your past. No, it won't. He's a really nice energy, and he's a good guy. He's a higher vibrational energy, I would say at least level 4. And he's actually coming in to give you a lot of support with your career, because I see a lot of good things for you, a lot of good things with your career. So that's your reading. Thank you, Maria Rose. I've got time for one more. And it's getting very hot in the living room now. which is why I like to do this early. You can't even open the window because of the rain. Keep opening, closing the windows because the rain comes in. Can't win. Okay, now I'm going to answer Kerry's question. Kerry is from the United States of America, and she has asked me, will my heart be open again to love? What's keeping it closed? Okay, this is a really interesting question for Kerry, and I'm going to just choose a card. So this is all the, let me just do the, okay, blue. This is all about walking away from the past. So the Eight of Cups, healing the emotions, letting go of the past, turning your back on something that was negative, a negative emotional situation. This could have been a breakup of a relationship, an ending of an old relationship. And it's all about you walking away, working away from that. I feel there may still be a tie or link emotionally to an ex, not necessarily you're still seeing them, but there may be an emotional root there still connecting you. That could actually be the block, that, because you've asked me what's keeping it closed, that could actually be the block. So when you've healed that, there's some healing to do, you've healed that in your heart, you will release any old patterns or any old emotions towards exes, and then you're actually going to be able to open a door, because the door is there. I can see the doorway there. It just needs to be unlocked and opened. But the emotional cord to the past is keeping it closed. Emotions are very powerful because they determine your life path. And sometimes there are parallels and different life paths, doorways that never open because you haven't healed the emotions. So it's kind of mapped. It's there. The codes are there. But you need to open the door, and the healing of the emotions is what will do it. Now, how you heal the emotions, I'm seeing a woman that's coming in. She could be some sort of healer, or a friend even. There's somebody that, she could be a relative. There's somebody that's helping you heal in some way. There's going to be a healing journey you go on. This actually, I feel, is connected with some sort of activity or hobby you're going to take up. And it's a woman that leads it. This is linked to nature as well, and going in nature, and you're then healing. So there's a period of healing with some newfound hobby or activity. And when you've finished the healing, there is a doorway where doorway is going to open and a man is going to come in for a love relationship. So it's not yet, that you will find love. There is a man on the horizon, but there's a bit of a healing journey first, I'm afraid. Not too long though. I get a blue ribbon for you. So this is all about the throat chakra. This is all about healing your voice, finding your true voice. It could be that in the problems you were facing in past relationships where that you were never heard in them, or you could never really stand up for yourself. You weren't being listened to. You couldn't speak your true voice. So the healing, I feel a lot of the healing will be in your throat chakra. It will be in your throat, speaking your truth, so that you have a really good communication, because I feel with your exes there was difficulties in communication. So that needs to be healed within you. And then the new guy that comes in, it will be a really good free-flowing communication between the two of you, because you'll have unblocked this chakra here. It's here, the throat chakra is blue. You may want to wear blue. So a blue dress, a blue scarf, or a pendant that's blue. This one's purple, amethyst, but you may want to wear something blue like sapphire or lapis lazuli or aquamarine, turquoise. So that's a very good way of getting some colours to wear jewellery. That's what I do. So that was for Kerry. Oh, I'm very hot now. Feeling very hot in this room. I've got to put the fan on in a minute. So that was today's Ascension live show. And I'm so pleased so many people have joined me today. Thank you, everybody on Facebook. Thank you everybody on Podbean, Podbean Live, and this video obviously will go out on YouTube. Please feel free to check out all my products, readings, zodiac predictions, the Enlightenment Key, which is a 12 podcasts collection on self-help and well-being and love. And it comes with the video, 1 hour video workshop, and that's £60, and that's on my website. So please feel free to check those out. And of course, I will see you next week. Oh, I won't see you next week because I'm doing the interview next week. I'm interviewing an artist, which will go out on YouTube. But I will see you the week after for another Ascension live show with live Q&A. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.